You're here, which means that you've found Spirit Crumbs, leading you to your inner light worker. I will be sharing how these tiny little hints from the universe have led me to where I am today. I hope that by hearing my story and the stories of others, you'll pick up your own spirit crumbs along the way that will lead you to somewhere magical. Thanks for coming along for the journey. Let's see where it takes us. Welcome to another episode of Spirit Crumbs. I am your host, Andrea McCallum. I am an intuitive oracle card reader and energy healer. Today we are moving on to the throat chakra, which is located at the base of the throat. And it is responsible for our respiratory system, our thyroid, our throat, of course, and also is connected to the ear chakras and listening. So in our lives, how this shows up is in our authenticity, our communication, our voice, truth, listening, and self-expression. It also connects to, in some beliefs, to our shadows, because often we need to speak things out loud to move through them and realize that our shadows are part of our authenticity. It's part of who we are as a whole person, and it helps us to actually speak our truth, because the shadow and the light are both very equal in how important they are in our development and in our growth. So something that I think is important to mention as well, and what it's responsible for, is how we show up when we're talking to others, and in how we're able to communicate our ideas and express ourselves. And sometimes we tend to put on a certain persona, and that's where this shows up, is in the throat chakra. It also is connected to manifestation because of actually believing and being connected to our true selves, and that's the best energy for manifesting from. The color that's associated with this chakra is blue. And the crystals that I use for this are angelite, blue lace agate, aquamarine, sometimes lapis lazuli, blue apatite, and turquoise. As I've mentioned in previous episodes, we can also look to animals to connect to. And in the Hindu tradition, the white elephant, because of its purity and essentially its authenticity, is connected to the throat chakra. I also like the hummingbird, which I know I mentioned previously. The butterfly as well, because I think that transformation is very much around the throat chakra, because once we start speaking our truth and connecting our shadow to our light, I think that that's how we achieve a lot of our transformation and the changes in our lives, because again, that also connects to manifestation. Birds in general, any birds that have very distinct songs. The nightingale, for example, comes up in the Kim Kranz deck as speaking its truth and really allowing its true song to come out. The chickadee is also very prominent for me, because when I looked up the meaning of it, is about community and communication within the community and connecting people. So I felt like that was a really good fit. And then the spider I brought up again because of its connection to creativity and manifestation and transformation. The foods that are in here are, of course, close to being around the blue in hue, and they are blueberries, blackberries, nuts and seeds, herbal teas, because anything warm in the throat, think of if you have a sore throat, what you would want to have. So broth, coconut water, also very good. Sometimes apples and pears, as well as plums, are included. I feel like the key here is hydration, and really I feel the warmer herbal beverages because of that soothing quality. So I think honey could also be included here because I know that comes up a lot for sore throats. And then the scents that come along with this are peppermint, which again, peppermint and eucalyptus are both here, and those are often used for clearing the nose and throat when you're sick. Chamomile as well, basil and juniper, and then sandalwood, which is mentioned a few times in the chakras. The gods and goddesses in the Hindu tradition are Sakini and Sadashiva. Saraswati is also included in some texts that I was reading. And then Athena, because she is connected to writing and knowledge, and the throat chakra is connected to all creative forms of communication. And so like singing, writing, automatic writing, even acting, because it's putting on some sort of a persona, but using the voice and communicating lines. So I think Athena also being connected to knowledge and that like truth that's within you is also part of that connection. Sometimes if your throat chakra is blocked or a little bit out of alignment, you can see themes of being afraid to speak up, either lying or hiding the truth, sometimes holding back information because of fear of how other people might perceive you if you tell the truth, putting on a different persona, like I've said. Sometimes it can manifest as actual difficulties speaking, such as stuttering, speech impediment, lisp. It can be also an inability to express needs and boundaries. Sometimes it can come up in the tone and speed of your voice, so either talking too much or filling up silence, but also following the lead too much or taking really long pauses or hesitations before you speak. Obviously, it's good to think about what you're going to say before you say it. That's part of the throat chakra. But also, just if you're having a real hard time coming up with words and speaking your truth and even responding in conversations, sometimes this can be around a blocked or misaligned throat chakra. Oversharing and gossip can also come from this on the other, that extreme of like talking really fast or too much. That can also be connected to it because it's not something that's really connected to our best truth. And then I think it's really, of course, important to connect to what a balanced chakra, throat chakra feels like, which means you're able to communicate clearly, you are speaking honestly and openly, you're stating boundaries, and you're able to do that firmly and kindly. It's not like a very harsh way, but you are speaking with authority and with authenticity. You're being in the moment, being able to do what's best for yourself by speaking up for yourself instead of being afraid in the moment to communicate how you're feeling. You're able to actually clearly communicate that to people in a tone and with the right words that will come across well and be well received in the moment. It also means that there's a balance of listening and talking, so you're able to fully absorb what other people are saying before you respond. It also means that self-expression comes naturally to you, and then your creativity and things you're manifesting come through really clearly because you're able to express and to speak from a place of authenticity, and that there's a clarity that comes with that makes it even clear with how you're communicating to the universe in terms of co-creating. You know exactly what it is you want, you know how to put that into words, and then you know how to move forward in speaking that into existence. And in order to heal this chakra, it's very much around communication. So sharing your story with others can be a way of really empowering yourself to speak your truth and share authentically. If you're having trouble along the way with doing that, you can consider therapy or talking to a trusted loved one first to try and get some of those thoughts out in a safe environment. And then journaling can be very, very therapeutic because you're able to just have that one-way conversation with yourself and getting your deepest fears onto paper and being able to get that physically out of your body in a safe way, again, can be really helpful, but it can also help you just to figure out what your feelings are and what your truth is. And so this can be a really great way of bridging those lower chakras where you have those fears, insecurities, identity issues. You can then move them into the throat chakra and get those out on paper. Writing of any kind is very healing. So if you have a story you want to share, getting that out can be great. Automatic writing, where you're writing just whatever comes out and being more of just an open channel to your higher self or any other beings that are coming through, that can be very, very healing for the throat chakra because you're not judging anything that's coming through. You're just allowing it to be. And of course, using your voice itself. So chanting, singing, speaking affirmations out loud to yourself in your own voice, or listening to them in your own voice, recording them and hearing your own voice can also be very helpful in healing different areas that might be coming up around the throat chakra for you. Breath work, because of the respiratory system and that connection to the throat, is really great. And then sound healing and silence are both very good because of that connection to the ear chakras and to listening. And then hydration again and connecting back to those warm beverages for the healing stages of your throat chakra work. And energy healing, of course, to just balance you out and maybe connect more with your throat chakra through a different kind of alignment. And the bija mantra or seed sound for this chakra is ham. The affirmations that I have for the throat chakra are: I give voice to my shadows. I am speaking my truth authentically. I am dedicated to listening attentively. I am able to speak my needs out loud. I communicate openly and honestly. My voice resonates with those I am meant to reach. For me, I feel like with the throat chakra, I know that there's a connection between writing and speaking for me. So I mentioned that I'm going to be writing a book, and I feel like I need to write that before I'm able to share authentically, because it's the way that I get my feelings out and really figure out what it is that I'm feeling about certain things. Even though I might feel like I've healed them, I know I haven't felt them all the way through. And so for me, I almost need to write them out before I'm actually able to deal with the emotions. And so I feel like this is going to be a healing process for me, as well as finding a way that I can share my voice and share my story with anybody that I am meant to reach. Again, I know that once you reach a point where you're feeling into your authentic self and you're showing up authentically, you don't really try so hard to make it resonate with people. You just know, and you feel that confidence in your solar plexus as well, that you are who you are. You are very confident that you are sharing what you are meant to share. You're connected to your purpose. And then you're really just open to it being out there and knowing that the right people will hear it and will really resonate. I really felt like this message showed up so strongly in my interview with Carrie. She was able to put into words so many things that I didn't realize were even connected to my throat chakra healing, things that I needed to do more often. So I really, really know that you will find that really therapeutic and helpful, just hearing what she had to share on her journey with her throat chakra. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Spirit Crumbs. You can find me on Instagram for this podcast at Spirit Crumbs. Or you can also find me at Concrete and Crystals for my own spiritual offerings and more tidbits about my own journey. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.